I recently checked out the documentary Light Girls that came on the OWN network, and this was basically a follow up to the documentary Dark Girls that came on, I believe, sometime last year. And the documentary really went into some of the struggles and adversities that black light skinned women face here in this country or within their own community. And all in all, I thought it was a pretty good documentary. It really tackled a lot of things. Some of the cast, I believe they had Lisa Ray, Raven Simone was in it, Indy Al Reed. There were a couple of doctors that voiced their opinion on certain topics or facts. They even had a segment where they had black men give their opinion and thoughts on black women, excuse me, not black women, light skinned women. And there was a couple of little, little cooning black men in there that were saying things that I thought would just basically feed into a lot of negativity that we have within our community when it comes to skin preference. But a lot of light skinned women were talking about how a lot of times they're stereotyped for being conceited, or they think they're cute, or I believe Sol O'Brien, the sister, I believe she's biracial. She works on CNN. She talked about how she admitted that when she first got into journalism and trying to break into the media industry, she feels like her skin complexion did favor her, did give her some opportunities that maybe some dark skinned women didn't have, because she was explaining how when she first got into the game, all the women that were on the network on TV looked like her. Long, straight hair, light skin, certain white physical features that we might say. But, another thing they talked about that I thought was, actually I was glad they talked about it, because I speak on this. A lot of other brothers and sisters speak on it. They talked about how we have certain black people who can pass for white within our community, and a lot of times the so-called dominant, what they'll do is that they'll identify those blacks as being white because they'll use them for numbers. You're still a Negro, you still won't get the quote-unquote opportunities, or the favoritism here in this country, because you still are a Negro at the end of the day. You still have that black blood running through your veins. But what they'll do is they'll use those people for numbers, because when we really look at it from an overall picture, black people are the majority. Everybody you look around, Hispanics, Italians, everybody, they pull from our culture. They pull from our genes. So when you really look at it, we're the majority, not the minority. So what white people do, or those who practice white supremacy and the powers of being here in this country, they use those blacks who can pass for white for numbers. Because what that does, that if they say, okay, well, even though those blacks can pass for white, they're still Negroes. They have that black blood running through their veins. So technically they're still black. If they was to do that, what that would do is that would throw a monkey wrench in their whole power structure. So what they do is they use those people for numbers. That way they can so-called keep their position as being a dominant society. And I've talked about that. A lot of other brothers and sisters out here that come out here and speak truth to power, try to educate the people in their community, have spoken on that. That a lot of this stuff that we got going on out here is about numbers. And that's why I advocate voting. Voting is very important. I know there's a lot of black people out here, not to go too far off the topic, but there's a lot of black people out here that feel like voting doesn't matter, and my condition is not going to change, or it doesn't. Voting, who cares? Voting doesn't matter. But voting does matter, and that's why they do things like control numbers or try to pull certain people to be identified with the so-called dominant society, so that they can use those people for numbers. So it's very important that us as a people really unify together and create change and understand what's going on out here. But all in all, I thought this documentary was pretty good. I know a lot of people had raised eyebrows on it, because they were like, well, what do light-skinned women go through? Or it's not nearby, they don't nearby go through as much things as dark-skinned women go through. And I can agree with that. Historically, dark-skinned women and dark-skinned men have it harder, because our genes are stronger. We can go out here and impregnate a white woman, and just with the black male's penis wipe out a whole population. and that scares the hell out of people. So they're trying to control numbers, and they're just, and the black man is just feared every day. You see what's going on out here with Ferguson and Trayvon Martin and all the other unjustly killings that's going on out here. The black man is the most feared individual here in the world, and this is why we get attacked. This is why darker skinned people have it harder here in this country. Black folks in general have it hard. It doesn't matter whether you have that 1% drop, or you as dark as the color black in the crown box. You still will have it tough. But we all know historically that darker skinned people deal with certain things that lighter skinned people will probably never understand. They can try to understand, but there's a different aspect that darker skinned people deal with. But that being said, there's also issues that light skinned women deal with. And I think more of their issues, they deal with more issues, I would say, within our community, because there are a lot of stereotypes. I mean, I've been places in society or in public, and I'll hear darker skin or brown skinned women say, "Oh, well, she thinks she cute. She thinking she high yellow. She cute, or she said this, or look at the way she walked. Look at the way she moved her hair. She thinks she cute." So I've heard that not only in public but within my family sometimes. So it's a historical thing that we really got to get over, and it really just shows that we do have people here in this country that deal with self-hatred. People who don't like themselves. Really deep down inside, a lot of our people deal with this Willie Lynch syndrome. We're still living in that field nigga, house nigga type of mentality. We really got to get out of that. We got to understand that, we're all black at the end of the day. We all collectively have to do what we have to do as a person to move our people forward. Because if we don't, we're going to get left behind. We see what's going on right now. We don't own any property within our communities. The black dollar does not travel. So it's time that we really wake up. This younger generation uses their energy to really create change out here, and we really start getting on the ball with things that we need to accomplish here in this world and in this country. But I mean, that's my opinion on it. I thought it was real good, real good documentary. I know a lot of people still didn't like it. Somebody had told me that they felt like there were some things that were missing out of it, which the things that they named, I didn't quite agree with them, because those things were mentioned in them. But people just have their own perspective, and then you got some people out there that are dark skinned. They don't want, again, going back to that that Willie Lynch syndrome, that crabs in a barrel syndrome. They don't want the light girls, the light skinned girls, to express their feelings and their thoughts and their struggles, because they think it gives too much light on them. They want it to be about darker skinned people and talking about just their issues. So just within this documentary, there's a lot of adversity and a lot of tug of war drama going on. But I think we need to cut that bullshit out, and we really need to start moving forward. Understand that we are all black. We're in this together. And I know a lot of brothers out there, a lot of brothers out here are, favoring lighter skinned women because they deal with self-hate. They deal with certain issues. And we got to educate those brothers and make them snap out of it, snap out of the BS that they're going through. We got to go after the media. The media is out here, and now it's gotten to a point where the light-skinned women are not even that high now, and I can say this, me working within the music industry, a lot of times these music directors, they're going and they're getting these Brazilian women, or getting biracial women, or these Dominican women, because they're trying to not only market out to a broader audience, but they're trying to give off the perception as if, well, now this artist has gotten to a point, they're so fly, they're so flashy, they're so great, that they're even beyond a black woman, a lighter skinned black woman. Now it's like, okay, well, I'm to the point where just Brazilian women or Dominican women or biracial women are attractive. So we got to go after the media. We got to go after, these politicians that's out here that's doing crooked stuff to our people. We have to fix a lot of issues that's going on within our community. We gotta confront and combat a lot of this self-hate that's going on. That's why we got cats out here like Don Lemon and Larry Elder, and I can go on and on. These cats who really deal with self-hatred because it's an embedded disease, and I do really think it's a disease. It's an embedded disease that has mentally corrupt some of our people. But that's my 2 cents on it. You guys checked it out. Give me your feedback on it. I will try to leave a link in the description box for you guys to check out the entire documentary. Don't hold me to that, but I will try to do that for you guys. I know there's a lot of people out there that didn't catch it when it came on TV. But I'm out. Subscribe. Keep supporting my movement. Peace. Be good to each other.